Hi, my name is Stacey Montgomery-Clark. Welcome to the SABIAN podcast in celebration of International Women's Day. I'm excited to have our special guest today, Jess Bowen. Jess, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
How
so excited
are you?
I'm so good. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me on this awesome day too. So I appreciate it.
Yeah. So tell us what's been up lately.
Oh, what has been up? Wow. I mean, I have been on the road a lot. I mean, since I was 18, actually, I've been on the road almost 6 to 9 months a year. So this past year, I got off the road in end of November, and I had December off, and I had January off, but always on the road. So my band is touring. We just released a new album. So it's kind of that album cycle time where you're getting back into the swing of okay, we put an album out, so let's do the whole cycle touring on this again, and just getting on the road, which is my happy place. So I can't complain.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So for our guest today, can you tell us a bit about your journey? How you have got into drumming, what inspired you to start playing?
Of course.
Some of your role models.
Yes. So I started playing because my dad, I always say it, that he conned me into drumming because he was a drummer, and he got my older brother to play drums. And when it came to me, he was like, okay, let's get you into drumming. And I was like, I don't really want to play drums because I didn't see women playing drums. I grew up, thinking girls don't play drums.
How old were you?
I was, at the time when he wanted to get me started, I was 10. So I was like, well, girls don't play drums, so I want to play guitar, is what I said. I was like, I want to play guitar and keys or something, something like that. So he told me, okay, if you can just play drums, like percussion, in the school band for a year, then I'll buy you a guitar. So that's why I say that he conned me into it, because now I'm 36 and still no guitar. He never got me a guitar. He got me into the drums, and sure enough, he was right. I fell in love with it instantly. And we always had drums around the house because, again, my dad was a drummer and my brother started playing. So, I used to mess around with it around the house. So I think it was kind of always something that was in me, because I always heard it, and I feel like I picked up rhythm pretty quickly from just hearing it all the time and feeling it in the house, So it was something that I fell in love with the second I started playing, and here I am now. So I am very, very grateful that he conned me into it, as I would say.
Well, you certainly have a natural just joy when you're playing. I just love watching you perform.
It's fun.
And you just seem to have this wonderful energy.
Thank you.
So where does that come from?
Drumming is fun. I love drumming. I just feel like, I just tell people that it's my happy place, and I truly feel like I kind of zone out or black out, however you want to say it, when you're on stage. It does feel like I'm just in this zone where I don't hear the noise of the rest of the world or anything that's happening in my life. I'm just there on stage having the best time. And sometimes I don't even realize, obviously I see the photos back, or I'll see videos back, and I'm like, wow, I just look like I'm having fun, because I am. That's genuinely how I feel when I'm playing, is you can see the expression, because that's authentic. I'm on stage, and that's my happy place. So I'm just having fun. I just always try to think of it as so many people, this type of job is what people would love to do, right? I can't believe I get to call it a job. So to me, I'm I just have to be, every day I'm appreciating where I am and what I'm doing. And I try to never take any moment or any show for granted. Whether it's playing for 20 people in a bar, or playing for 20,000 people in an arena, I just feel like I'm so lucky and fortunate to be able to do this, and to have been doing it for as long as I have now, that I just have fun with it. And that's what I try to tell other people, if they ever are what's your advice? I'm please never lose that spark of just having fun, because A, drumming is fun, and B, it's I'm so lucky that I'm able to do this. Mm-hmm. So that's how I feel about it.
Let's back up a bit to when your dad introduced you to drums.
Yes.
You were 10.
I was.
Where was your outlet? Did you play in a band with friends? Were you in school? Mm-hmm. How did you get to be to where you are today? Can you kind of take us through your journey?
Totally. Okay, so as you said, my dad kind of started me at 10 years old. I started playing in the school band. So percussion is how I started. So played in the school concert band until middle school when they gave you the option to play in jazz band, which was when you could play the real drum kit. So for me, that was like what I was waiting to finally get to do. It was like, okay, I loved learning all the other percussion instruments, but I really want to get behind the kit itself, which was to play jazz band. So I got into the jazz band, and I think one of the first songs I learned was Buddy Rich's Mercy, 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 and then Chicago's 25 or 6-4. Those were like the two songs I can distinctly remember in my head that they like gave us to learn as drummers. And there was only 3 of us drummers in the school, actually. So we all got a chance to really get, to sit on the kit and really get a chance to play, which was cool. But yeah, so I started with concert band, went into jazz band. While I was in the jazz band, like I said, there was only 3 of us drummers in the school. So that was when I got approached by 2 friends of mine that I was playing soccer with, and they wanted to start a Blink-182 cover band. It was like they wanted to do Blink-182, Green Day, and like MXPX. Those were the 3 bands I remember that we were like, okay, let's do these covers. And so they came to me to ask if I'd be in the band because we knew each other. So we started a little punk rock cover band.
The 3 of you.
The 3 of us. It was me, my friend Steven, who is now still currently in my band, The Somerset, and then our other friend, JF, who's in a band called The Main. But then Steven's little brother joined the band, and that's how we started the band The Somerset that we're actually in today together, was that we started all together playing covers. And then in high school, we started writing our own music a little bit after doing all the covers and, playing at school dances and stuff like that. Yeah. That's like our first shows.
Amazing.
Or like the school dances and like the school talent shows and stuff. And then, started writing our own music in high school. And then fast forward to our senior year, we switched we got a new singer from MySpace. This was the MySpace days, if you remember. So we found a new singer on MySpace, and that's when we started officially our band, The Somerset, was our senior year of high school. And then we got signed to our first record label right when we got out of high school. So it was like we put out an EP and kind of thought, we'll see what happens with this. But like we got the attention of a record label in Long Beach, California, and we were, 18. I was 18, but like a couple of our members were still like 17, and they were like, we want to put you guys on the road. We want you to start touring and all this stuff. So we just kind of went for it. I don't know that our parents, they were supportive, but I'm sure they weren't super stoked that we were like, well, we're going to drop out of college and not do school and just go on the road.
Dad planned for that when you were 10.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm like, so Dad, did you expect that I would be like, hey, I'm going to be a college dropout and I'm going to tour the world with a bunch of boys. I'm going to get in a 15-passenger van and travel the country as an 18-year-old girl with a bunch of boys.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So I'm very lucky that my parents were, they like allowed me to do that. Because looking back on it, I'm like, would I let my 18-year-old girl daughter go on tour with a bunch of boys?
So I would have seen you on the Warped Tour somewhere.
Oh, yeah. We did all the Warped Tour. Well, not all of them, but I mean, we did, 2010, we did 2013, 14, 16, and I did 18 as well.
Yeah.
So that was our whole scene, was the Warped Tour scene. We did a bunch of those, and then obviously just kept touring, made albums and went on the road. That was kind of the algorithm, right? It was like, make an album, tour on that for like a year and a half or 2 years, and then make another album and then keep touring. So again, like since I was 18, this has kind of been my life. And outside of my own band, when I'm free, I feel like this started maybe in like 2016 or 17. I started getting asked to play for other artists, which I don't even think I never thought. I thought like I would only be in my own band, and then once that was done, I was going to go back to school and get a degree in something. I don't know, whatever I could. I think I even thought about like dental hygiene school or something. You know what I mean? I like these thoughts like went through my mind because I was like, well, you can't be in a band forever, right? Like we're eventually going to break up. But
why did you have that thought?
I think it's funny. I don't think I'm pessimistic, but I think I thought realistically that, especially in the genre and the scene that we're in, what I had seen previously was bands have their time, right? Like you kind of have your moment, and then it feels like maybe it kind of fades, and that's okay. And most people end up like going on to do other things. That's what I thought, because I kind of saw that with other bands. So when it was like, I was turning, mid to late 20s, and I kind of thought, well, there's only so much longer that I feel like we're going to be doing this probably. So time to start thinking about other things. Sure enough, our band did end up going on a hiatus in the beginning of 2017. But that's
just life?
Just life, yeah. Like, I think, again, we all kind of thought that what else is out there? What else can you do? Because, our identities were so tied within this band. Like, I think for a while I thought, like, I'm just Jess from the Somerset. Like, I didn't think of myself as my own person. I thought I was like someone from another entity. I didn't know who I truly was. And I think the rest of us kind of had that identity crisis in a way, what else can we do? What else is out there? So we went our own separate ways to kind of just do other things. And we all did end up staying in music, but I did, start getting asked to play with other artists. And I didn't think that was a path that I was going to want to go with, but I fell in love with that. I fell in love with just playing with other people, learning new music. It challenged me to have to like really expand and perfect the craft in a way that, like, with my own band, it was like, who cared if I messed up, right? To me, I'm like, I played these songs a million times. I could play them in my sleep. I didn't practice. I didn't try to like work on any new techniques or skills or improve myself. And I think being able to play with other people helped me do that. Because you have to, like, at that point, it's not my own project. I can't mess this up for someone else. Like, this is their show. This is their music. I have to, take it way more seriously. So
when did you realize that was a benefit of taking a break and trying new things, like throughout it, or was it sort of after?
I think it was after the fact, because what happened was, I think when our band did get back together, I noticed that I had, more skills coming into our band and the songs, playing them live, especially being like, it's crazy that I never thought to do this before. It's because I like learned different things and learned different styles, or like not even styles, because I still feel like I play a pretty, like, I'm a very rock forward drummer. That's my style. Those are the drummers that I like. But I just think I was able to like kind of finesse certain things, and like when to play loud, when to play a little softer, kind of like dynamically changing my style, I guess. So it was really after the fact, because when we came back, the Somerset, when we all came back together to play, I think even some of the guys were like, wow, like you got better. Like, you're better now. And it was just like, it really was just taking, I cared more about my craft, because you had to, like I said, you really take, I think I was just taking for granted that I was, when I was in my own band, I just didn't really practice, so that's really kind of what happened.
So along the way, I heard an interview, you said there wasn't a lot of female representation that you could, look up to or get inspiration from. Do you think that's changed where you are today? Like, if you were to look at your 10-year-old self, would you see a different landscape around you in terms of diversity and females in drumming in particular?
I definitely think it has changed. It has gotten better. There's definitely a lot more visibility around, women on stage, and specifically female drummers. Because historically, obviously, drumming is a very male-dominated instrument. And I think it still tends to lean that way, but I have seen more women picking up the drums, and I've seen more women on stages, and I've seen more artists wanting to be intentional about having women on stage, which I love, because I think that's another thing, is like being intentional about it. Like, I think we've always been here. I think there have always been women playing drums, but it didn't feel like you saw them on stage. And that, to me, was the biggest thing, is I'm so passionate about just like empowering women to want to play the drums. And I think a big part of that is visibility. So you have to see these women on stages to be able to feel like you can do it, or to think that you can. Because there could be a girl out there somewhere who just didn't even know that was an option, right? But she's like, she sees a girl on stage playing drums, and she's like, maybe I want to be a drummer, just see the visibility is so important to me, I feel like. And again, I'm the perfect example. When I was growing up, I literally said, like, girls don't play drums, because I just didn't see it. There were so few female drummers that were very like recognizable,
From your perspective, what does diversity bring to a band? Like you had said, more people want more females in their band, but what does it bring? And how does it kind of elevate the entire dynamic of the group?
I mean, I think, it's just so important. Diversity is just important in general in life, right? I think it should, you need the diversity to challenge yourselves, or to even just bring different approaches to things, or to bring different opinions about certain things that maybe someone wouldn't think about if they weren't a woman, or something like that. I just think diversity is there's so much to it, and there's so that we could go so far, so deep into.
Yes.
But just for me as a woman on tour, like having other women on tour has also been so helpful in the sense of like, oh, someone can relate to me a little bit better than sometimes the guys on the road, we are just a little bit programmed differently. And maybe one day I'm having a certain type of day and I want to be able to talk to another girl about it, and we can relate to each other in a way that I can't relate to the guys in my band about something going on in my life, or something that I'm going through. So I just find it really important to keep it as diverse as possible. And again, like there are just so many women that are so capable of all these jobs that haven't been given chances before.
What do you see today as their obstacles? Like obviously voices such as yourself, we need more.
Yes.
But what would you say to somebody who is kind of on the cusp of taking a leap, that maybe she's been holding on to something deeply for a couple years? What would you say to her?
I would say take the leap. Like it is worth it. I think if you're holding on to something, the best way to get through it is to just jump into it. And I think you will regret not doing it. Like for me, if there was anything in the past that I just like didn't say or didn't do, that's the biggest regret. It's like the way to get through those things is to really just head on, even if you do fail. Like you have to fail in order to succeed. So I do think that like it's so scary. People get so scared because it's so daunting to think about something like, oh, what if they say no, or what if I don't get this next gig, or what if I don't, whatever it is that they're struggling with. I think just being able to face it, and it's hard, but like it truly is kind of the best way to do it.
I'm sure you've had moments where you were talking to yourself and you were hearing that voice.
Oh yeah.
You must have had a phenomenal group around you to like enable you to take that leap.
Yeah.
Big or small.
Yes. I mean, honestly, I have to commend my parents, like I said, because I can't believe that they let me do this for even when as young as I was, and in the type of, genre. And it's not like we were touring in a bus at the time. We were touring in a van. We were sleeping on floors. We were sleeping in parking lots. We were half the time playing at bars, being underage. You know what I mean? Like, I can't believe my parents were still just like, you're doing the thing. We'll let you do it. I was like, God bless you. Like, honestly, like I cannot believe, looking back on it, that's that they let me do that. But again, like I have to thank them, because that's how I'm here today. It's like they were, like you said, as a support system. Like if I didn't have that, I probably, if I knew my parents weren't happy with what I was doing, I would have definitely just probably threw the towel in a long, long time ago and been like, I'll just go back to school and try to, everyone wants to make their parents happy, right? You have that, like that kind of, that feeling of like, well, I want to make them proud. I want to, try to do things the right way or whatever it is. And I think I would have thrown the towel in if they were ever going to be like, hey, maybe you should think about doing something else.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm going to shift gears completely. I know that you love dogs.
I love dogs.
I love dogs.
Okay, so yeah, my outside of drumming, my next favorite thing, just dogs. Love dogs. I have two little Chihuahua mixes. I have Tony and Pepe. So Pepe is a Pomeranian Chihuahua. He's like 50-50 mix. He was a rescue. And then Tony, he was also a rescue, but we rescued him from like a previous owner, basically. And he's a Chihuahua, Lhasa Apso, Shetland sheepdog. Like he's just a mutt, but he's like got a personality. This guy thinks he's like the defender of all defenders. He like thinks that he needs to defend me and my fiance from anything going on in the world. So anytime we're out on walks, if anyone gets too close to us, you just hear this little, like a little grunt, that's his like warning. But he's truly the sweetest, like cutest little guy. And same with Pepe. Pepe likes making new friends anywhere he goes.
Social.
So he's our social guy.
Yeah.
He's our guy that, like, if there was someone trying to attack us, he'd be like, "Ooh, be my friend." You know what I mean? Like, he would not know what to do, but Tony would be on it.
Do they go on tour with you?
Oh, I wish they did.
How do you leave them?
So yeah, my fiance Lauren, she will watch them when I'm gone on tour. So also, like, so thankful for her, because that's what also lets me do what I do, because I don't know what we would do otherwise. We'd have to obviously find a dog sitter or put them in boarding or something, but you never want to do that to your dogs. You want them to be in their home and to be comfortable. But no, I miss them all the time. That's the hardest part now about going on tours, leaving my fiance and my dogs. It's like, I miss them all the time, but I stay in touch with them when I'm on the road and all that.
FaceTime.
So, FaceTime. Yeah. But no, dogs are my favorite.
So are you home for a while?
I'm home now till just for another few weeks. We start rehearsals for our next headline tour in a few weeks. So I'm about to get back into it. Should be a good time. It's just a lot of prepping for that type of stuff. For a headline tour, there's so much more prep going into it. So that's what we're kind of...
Like practice or...
Lighting, production, even just down to, like, merch designs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty hands-on with, like, merch and production stuff. So it's like me having to get all that lined up before the tour starts, and meeting deadlines and getting, just all the little stuff, the little stuff that goes on behind the scenes that have to get done.
So I know you're into fitness.
I am also into fitness.
Getting ready for tour, is that different?
I actually think for me, because I love working out so much, I kind of have steadily you don't
have to change it.
I don't change it. I think what helps me to be able to have the stamina for a headline tour is that I do work out as much as I do. What does change is probably, like, on the road, because we're playing a headline set, I won't work out as hard on those show days as I do when I'm at home, because...
But you must have to eat double, because I've watched you play. Like, you must burn over 1,000 calories.
It's funny that you say, yeah, I think there was, her name's Dr. Nadia Azar. She comes out, she does the Drummer Lab stuff, analytics.
Yeah.
And she came to our show in Detroit, which we only played a 30-minute set, but I think it was like around 400 or 500 calories, maybe 400, 500. So yeah, for like an hour and a half set, it's probably like 1,000 or 1,500 calories, like, that you're burning. So like I said, now I'm like, okay, I'm not going to work out as hard on show days, because that's my cardio.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The drumming is already the cardio.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, working out, I think it's such an integral part of being a drummer. Is, I've noticed, I mean, I'm sure you've noticed this, all drummers are usually pretty fit, because you have to be to do the job, I feel like.
Especially
it's
the way you play.
Well, it's part of the job, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess if you're in, like, the way I play, or, like, in the kind of the rock world, or those, like, heavy metal drummers or progressive drummers, I mean, those people, they're all in such good shape. And you're using your whole body, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, again, to me, I think of it as, like, part of the job.
Yeah.
Like, gotta be in shape.
Gotta be in shape.
Yeah.
The documentary, Count Me In. Tell me about that.
That was crazy. I still can't believe they included me in that. I remember getting the email. I was
Why?
Because
Why
again,
would they not include you in that?
That is so sweet of you. I think for me it was just surreal, because I was, they put me in a room full of my drumming idols. Like, I could not believe that I was getting that opportunity. I'm obviously so thankful.
How did it come to be?
So what happened was, my managers emailed me saying that, someone had reached out about filming a documentary. I didn't really know much about it or what, the premise was, but I ended up meeting with the director, and he told me that they were looking, my character, I guess you would say, even though I'm playing myself, is I was kind of the up and coming drummer. They wanted a young up and coming drummer.
It was like before COVID?
This was before COVID. So this was 2018 when they were filming it. So yeah, so that's kind of what they came to me for, was to fill that role. And so I thought it was just going to be like, hey, you're going to be part of this documentary. We're just going to interview you. We'll ask you some questions, all this. And then as it went on, they wanted this end. If you saw the documentary at the very end, they were like, oh, so by the way, we're going to have, the 4 kind of main drummers that we interviewed, which was me, Chad Smith from the Chili Peppers, obviously, Stephen Perkins from Jane's Addiction, and Cindy Blackman Santana, they're all legends, right? And I've always loved them and looked up to them. And so they're like, oh, by the way, we're just going to put you in a room and you guys are just going to play drums together. And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm just gonna just play drums? Like, what do you mean just play drums with my idols? Like, that's so much pressure. So I was so nervous. It's even hard for me, I'm not gonna lie, it's hard for me to go back and watch like that scene because I've never been more nervous in my life.
Oh.
And I just feel like I'm the type of drummer who just loves playing, you know, with music or with tracks or with something playing. But, you know, they kind of were just like, hey, so the way it's going to work is like Cindy's going to play something, then she'll pass it to Steven, and he's going to play a song. And then Chad's going to start playing, you know, drums. And then you're just going to start playing. And I'm like, oh my God, this is just wild. And anyways, it was the most nervous I've ever been.
It was amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, it was, I'm happy I did it, but I think I almost talked myself out of that specific scene too, because when they were like, it's just you playing drums with them, I truly was like, I don't want to embarrass myself. I feel like I'm just gonna.
But you didn't.
Flub. Thank you. I mean,
you didn't talk yourself out of it.
I didn't because
That's so important.
And this was the thing to kind of tie it back to earlier when you're saying like if anyone, not that you said this necessarily, but if you're ever second guessing yourself or people are worried about failing, which I was so worried that I was just going to embarrass myself. I still kind of think I did. So I was like, I don't feel like I'm that caliber of drummer, but they did want an up and coming drummer. And that's kind of where my skill level was at, you know, and at the time, and I still held my own and came out on the other side of it. And here I am, you know, like, I think it really is those type of moments where you have to jump in. You have to, like, the scariest and most intimidating things to do are always going to probably be the most rewarding. So
that's really well said.
Yeah.
And then you did the drumeo.
And then I did the drumeo, which
that was so fun.
The next most nervous thing I've ever been for.
You were like, I didn't have to put that much into it.
Yeah. I truly was that was the second most nervous I've ever been in my life.
Was it?
I'm not kidding. Because I knew that they did those here's a song for the first times. And again, me second guessing myself always, I was like, well, I'm not that type of drummer. I need to be rehearsed. I need to know what I'm playing to. So there's no way that I'm going to do that. So I thought going into it, I was just going to do the lessons. And I was like, I'm just going to go in, I'll do the lessons. And then if they ask me to do it, I'll see how I'm feeling. Maybe I'll give it a shot. And then if I don't like it, I'll just ask them not to use it, right? I can just say, you know what? Please don't use that. I don't feel confident. But again, sure enough, like I just did it. They made me feel so comfortable, and they just were like, you know, look, we're not here to make anyone look bad. That's their thing. You know what I mean? If you've watched drum, like they're not out to get you. They're drummers' best friends. You know what I mean?
They really
are
are
friends. So they're not here to try and make you look bad, or they're not out to get you.
It's fun.
It's fun. It's
so
supposed
much
to be
fun.
for fun.
But the thoughts that you were having and what we've kind of been talking about, I believe it's shared with both genders.
Yes. Oh, for sure.
I believe that, you know, men and women have similar challenges.
Yes.
But uniquely, women, the representation in the industry, there is a difference, like in how we bond together and share these moments.
Yes.
And bringing this out to more females. We're all humans.
Yes.
We all have the same emotions.
Yeah.
And the fears.
Oh, 100%.
And when you take those leaps, like, look what happens.
I know. It's again, as I said, it's the scariest things that I've done that have really escalated my career to different levels that I never would have imagined. But like, they're the scary. It was so scary to have to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was so worth it. And like I said, they're the best. You know, they're there to. They want to. They're bringing such a fun experience to audiences, and they want the drummers to have fun with it. But I just had to overcome the fear first to get there to the fun part.
All right,
it was fun. But it was fun.
How often do you break your Sabians?
Oh, well, that's Chris. Okay. How many times do I come in to swap them out? A lot. So he's so funny too, because
what's on your kit? What are you playing right now?
So my go-to, I'll say this is my normal setup is I love the HHX Legacy. So I had the HHX hats, I had the Legacy ride, and the crashes. And I love the 22 ride because I just love a big, you know, ride, and a 21 Legacy over here, and like a 20 usually on this side, and then 14 hats. But I have been cracking them a lot lately, and sometimes I come in, and because I break them a lot, they don't always have the stock things in stock. So I've been kind of going back and forth between some AAXs as well. But I will say Chris is great because he knows my style. So he will make sure not to give me Cymbals that he's like, you're going to break this in one show. Like he will straight up say that. And I've played with some artists who, they've specifically asked for, like the FRX, right? And which I love the FRX. But, Chris was also like, well, you're going to break these as long as they know that you're going to break these within like a few shows. So he keeps me, in check and makes sure that I'm playing mostly AAXs, I think, and HHX, because I think for me, with the way I hit, they're pretty much like more durable for me. I love the Paragon. Oh, the Paragon's like one of my favorite cymbals. I haven't tried the Ozone yet, which is, Chris, I'd love to try that if you're around. Hint, hint. But I do think I might break that too. I don't know. But I love the HHX series and the AAX. But all of this, it's funny, I'm not super particular. Like, besides knowing that I love the Legacy series, because that's kind of what that was my intro into playing Sabian. That was my whole set. Now I kind of interchange, like I said, and I kind of just love trying all the different stuff. I haven't found a series that I don't like. So I kind of am just like, if you guys will let me try it, I'd love to try it.
So you can play whatever you want.
Well,
company
if you guys will let me. Yeah. It depends if it's, if you guys are fine with it. I love trying all.
But you could work with any company in the industry. Why do you choose Sabian?
I don't know how else to say it. I love Sabian Cymbals. I'm a very loyal person, and you all treat us well, us artists well. Like, I feel like I am loyal to people who I feel like the respect is given back and forth, between the artists and who you're working with. And I'll break a cymbal and I can just text or email and I'll get a response within 2 seconds. It's not like I send an email and then I'm waiting for a month to be like, am I going to get my cymbals? Am I going to be set for tour? Like, I am so well taken care of and treated with such respect here that I could not imagine playing for another company, because to me, I love the Cymbals. I've grown up playing Sabian. Like, honestly, Sabian was what we played in our household growing up. So to be a Sabian artist is such an honor. And then to have this relationship where I'm like, wow, like, they even know who I am by name? What? Like, that type of thing. I'm just like, and sometimes I have to pinch myself because I'm like, it's crazy that I'm this lucky. But yeah, I can't imagine playing another company. Like, I just love it.
So proud to be behind you.
Thank you so much.
Everybody
I'll never
at
leave.
the factory.
I'll never
you can't leave.
Yeah. Chain me to the... I'm never leaving.
Oh, well, thank you for playing Sabian, and everybody back at the factory. It's what we do. It's why we do what we do, to support you, to create what you need to do, and to be behind you. So thank you for being loyal to us and,
thank you guys.
and working with us.
Thank you so much.
You have such a beautiful energy about you. So can you kind of explain a bit how you use that to connect with women and drummers and musicians and just...
Yeah. Thank you. That's a very sweet compliment. And to be honest with you, I think for me, it is truly just being authentic. Like, I am just myself. And when people are like, oh, we can connect, like, I'm like, I love that. I'm just being myself.
You hear that a lot? I'm not surprised.
I've heard it before. And it's funny because I'm just like, it's interesting that it's said, and maybe it's because of this industry and people think they need to, especially women sometimes feel like they need to be something else.
They're not, maybe?
Or something, yes, or they need to put on a certain face, or they need to do this, that, the other, whatever it is.
To fit
in, yes. Yeah. And again, that kind of ties back to, not always, but like being in a male-dominated industry is you almost, I remember I changed this narrative, but I used to say, like, I'm just one of the guys. But I'm not just one of the guys. You know what I mean? I am a proud female. I'm a proud woman. I'm a proud female drummer. And I don't, I think what it is now is that, like, I'm not scared to, like, take up space, too, as a female. Like, I think it was trying to make yourself small because you were like, well, I need to blend in or whatever it is. And instead I'm like, no, like I want, like we were talking about diversity, like I want people, the visibility is so important. I want them to see that I'm here. I don't mind taking up space, not in like, hopefully an annoying way. I'm not trying to be like, so in your face about it. But I do think being authentic to myself and just being myself and not trying to hide or make myself little, and making sure that like, if I have something to say, I say it.
When did you have that breakthrough?
It took a while, I'll be honest with you. I think maybe 2018, 19, maybe around that time, where I was finally like, I need to like find
Before the hiatus with the band?
It was actually after the hiatus.
Oh, okay.
I think it was like I knew I needed to find my voice and find myself and really just be like so authentic to who I am, and like not don't try to be someone else. Like this is who I am, and like I'm me, and it's like if I had any advice for any women or young women trying to get into this, it is that. It's like, don't be afraid to take up space. Don't be afraid to just be yourself. Honestly, just be yourself. Like, don't try to think that you need to be, a certain way or whatever it is. Just be yourself and be authentic. And I think people see that. I think that is one thing I've noticed, is people are very receptive to people who are fake, and you can't really, hide behind that. So just be yourself.
Yeah.
So,
Will you come back?
Please, will you have me back?
Yes. This is so much fun.
I know.
Is there any final thoughts that you want to share?
I mean, again, I am truly so much, I'm just as passionate about empowering women and young women to not only play drums, but to just do what it is that you want to do. Don't be intimidated by the fact if it is a male-dominated industry, or if you're, like we said, just kind of jump into it. Like you should, if you're scared to do something, just try it. The worst that can happen is you do have to fail at some things in order to find out what you will succeed at.
And you have to feel what that feels like.
You do. You
have to be comfortable with it.
Be comfortable with failure. That is a very good...
It doesn't feel great.
No, it doesn't feel great, but it's
a building block.
Everyone goes through that, and you will become a better person after you go through that. I mean, you will learn from it, and I think that's the best way to succeed. And so I just think, don't be scared. I think just don't be scared. Don't be scared to try things, and be yourself, and take up space.
Take up space.
Because, we're here, and be proud of it,
You're awesome, Jess.
Thank you. You're awesome. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.